As we celebrate 4-0 and wait for Red October, Ike, how you feeling, brother?
Well, I feel pretty good, Brother Spike. It is a Tuesday, which means ESP is in the building today. That always gets the blood going. I'm going through a little withdrawal.
Little baseball withdrawal?
I'm just saying, the boys in pinstripes, I haven't seen them in a couple days, and I'm looking forward to seeing them Saturday. Saturday can't get here fast enough, quite frankly. Cannot get here fast enough. But until then, we'll dissect our undefeated defending Super Bowl champions. That feels like we are winless right now, but we aren't winless. We are undefeated.
We are.
Jackie Baseball. Holla at your boy.
So, like, you know how we do expected stats in a lot of sports?
Yeah.
What's the Eagles' expected win-loss record?
What do you think it is at this point, if you had a bet?
2-2.
Oh, you mean of this year? Well, they're plus. Yeah. Well, no, plus 20 would probably be 3-1. Yeah.
You can have your little 4-0, but
I am still trying to recover from Jack Shorts on YouTube yesterday.
So are the YouTubers. We're keeping it above
the
that
waist
level today.
Yeah. We will get to that later. As Ike mentioned, Elliot Shore-Parks will join us at 3. Jordan Mailata joins us at 4. And, Ike mentioned we're 4-0. The biggest story, the Eagles somehow find a way to do this, but the biggest story is A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts for the second straight year, right? We had a lot of this last year. And I just keep trying to figure out, we all love A.J. Brown, right? We want A.J. Brown to be a big part of the future for the Philadelphia Eagles, big part of the present Philadelphia Eagles, one of the best receivers who has ever played for the Philadelphia Eagles, right? We all want A.J. Brown to be here for a very long time. We all love Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has already won a Super Bowl, been to 2, wins and wins and wins and wins. We just keep looking at this future, Jalen Hurts, Jalen Hurts, Jalen Hurts. I just keep trying to figure out, knowing what I know of the last couple of years with A.J., how this ends well, and I can't figure out in my mind a way that this ends well with AJ and the Eagles. For me, it feels like we are closer to the end of AJ as an Eagle than anything else, because I understand when we say winning should cure everything, right? You're 4-0, blah, blah, blah. But that is just not reality. It hasn't. Winning didn't cure everything for AJ last year, right? And I don't think any of us feel like that is an unfair way to feel. Here is a guy who cares about his legacy, cares about being in the Hall of Fame, cares about his next contract, by the way, and has pride and wants to be a part of the offense. Mm-hmm. We also are having trouble resolving the fact that while they're winning, he is obviously unhappy. He can come out and say whatever he wants about the tweet, but I think we all know when you leave the locker room after a win without talking to the press, and 2 hours later you're tweeting Bible verses about walking away quietly, that we can all sort of figure out where it is. And I'm just thinking about Jalen, and I'm thinking about Kevin Patullo, and I'm thinking about Nick Sirianni, trying to figure out this offense. And here's this extra thing they have to think about. Every time they design a game plan, every time Jalen drops back, every time he calls a play, here's this extra thing he has to think about. Is AJ getting the ball enough? Blah, blah. Never mind the fact that our star running back isn't even having a very good season. They're one of the worst rushing teams in the NFL so far this year, too. And I just can't see a way that AJ, within the structure of what this offense is, even at its best, is going to be happy. It feels like it is, to me, past the point of no return. And then we talked yesterday about what happened with the Bills when they let go of Stephon Diggs. Mm-hmm. And Josh Allen saying, all of a sudden, I felt free, right? I felt like I could throw the ball wherever it needs to go. And this isn't me saying that I think the Eagles are better with A.J. Brown. That would be a crazy thing to say. Better without A.J. Brown. That would be a crazy thing to say. But when I'm thinking about the football team holistically, how the team is bigger than one person and all of these things, I just can't see. I just can't wrap my head around this year or next year being enough for him. And if we're already in week 4 off of winning a Super Bowl and they're 4-0, and for 2 straight weeks or 2 out of the last 3 weeks, it's been, is AJ happy? Is AJ happy? Is AJ happy? I don't know. It stinks of something that is just that the clock is ticking, and I hear the clock ticking down. And whether it's, it would be crazy to trade him during the year, but
they're not trading him during the season.
That's
not happening.
It just feels like I can't I can't think of a way that this ends in a way where A.J. Brown is just happy and playing football and everybody's good again. It just feels like we're past that point to me.
I mean, hopefully you're wrong, but I can't necessarily say that you are wrong, and it certainly is trending in a direction where it would lead itself to believe that that's what the ultimate ending is going to be. And I think that's what every Eagle fan is fearing.
Yes.
Like that's what we're all fearing, that this is what we're going to ultimately have to do, because I don't know how much better the passing game is going to be.
Right.
To keep everybody happy.
Right.
It's never going to be the Bengals offense that they had last year with Burrow throwing the ball as much as he does, and, Jamar Chase being a Triple Crown winner. Like, it's never going to happen. At least not in the foreseeable future. I just don't see it happening that way, because Jalen doesn't play football that way. He doesn't play the quarterback position that way. This offense isn't designed that way. So A.J., at some point, is going to have to decide what makes him happiest, right? Like, I think we got a general idea. He's left breadcrumbs as to what truly makes him tick. We've tried to sweep things under the rug or put a lipstick on it or put a bow on it and sort of paint it up and dress it up as best we can. But the comments a couple days after the Super Bowl, the tweet after the Super Bowl, that him not being – he didn't have the feeling that he thought he would have being a champion, and what makes him happy. And I'm paraphrasing a lot of it because I don't have it in front of me, but he said something to the effect of, dominating his opponent is what truly gets him going, and dominating the game and seeing the DB's head hang after he's crushed him or whatever. He mentioned at another point in the offseason, when asked about the offense and Kevin Patullo being here and what would be different, he basically said, well, we can't do what we did last year.
Yep.
We got to do something different this year.
And here we are having the second most rush attempts in the NFL. Right?
So it's clear that his role in the offense, he's not satisfied with. This is not deciding whether or not he's right, he's wrong, or anything else. He's free to feel the way he wants to feel as an individual. Right? He's a part of a team, but he's an individual. And if he thinks that he's better served, that he could be better used somewhere else, then that's what he's ultimately going to decide. That's what he's ultimately going to decide, either with his words or with his actions. Here's what I will say about the team and his impact on all of that. What we care about is the team.
Yes.
We don't care necessarily about individuals above the team.
Us
as fans,
right.
Yes, that's all we care about.
Yes.
We don't care about all the other stuff. We pay good. I'm speaking in general terms here, but we pay good money to go see the team. They spend a lot of money on merchandise, like all of those things.
Time every Sunday for all of fall and winter. Yes.
Everything is devoted to this team.
Yep.
And the only joy we get out of it is watching them win.
Yes.
We don't care for the drama.
Right.
We don't care for the other stuff as fans. So no one's ever going to put an individual above the team's success. The team is winning. This is becoming a distraction for the team.
Yes. I don't know how it couldn't be.
I don't. The coach is having to answer questions about it. I'm sure Jalen will have to answer questions about it. Whenever A.J. decides to speak, people are going to want clarification as to what he meant by the tweet that he put out there, as everybody's been speculating nationally for 2 straight days now as to what he means and whether or not he's happy. Only he can express whether or not he's happy here. Like, only he can express that. But until he says that, everybody's going to speculate. I know the team is a better football team with A.J. Brown on it. But I also know this. There is no player that's greater than the sum of all the parts of a team. None. Not one. I don't care if you're a quarterback. I don't care if you're the receiver. I don't care if you're the tackle, running back, linebacker, defense end, even head coach. You're not above the sum of all the parts together that make the team. Either you got to be a part of it or not. And that's what ultimately is going to have to be decided with A.J. But we're all sitting around here like, oh, man, why can't we just be happy with our 4-0 team?
Right.
Like,
I don't want to be talking about this.
Let us nitpick about passing game
Yes.
and running game and all that stuff that we do. But as far as the players being together as one, That's what all the fans want. And this, with a player so significant like AJ, it has everybody on the edge. Has everybody on edge because you wonder whether or not this can sink a team or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were able to get through it last year, and they won the Super Bowl. But if you look at this in realistic terms, this is going back seemingly since 2023.
Right, when he didn't talk to the press for several weeks.
I'll never forget
right?
the Minnesota game. I think it was a Monday night or a Thursday night.
Yep.
That game, when it looked like it looked like he was going at Jalen on the sideline. And to me, things just haven't been the same ever since that. Now, maybe something happened prior to that. I don't know. But from our viewpoint, that was the first time publicly we saw anything.
Well, and to your point about...
It hasn't been right since.
To your point about us sort of glossing over everything, Donovan McNabb mentioned this yesterday. By the way, 215-592-9494. Do you see a positive end to the AJ situation? Because I'm getting to the point where I don't. Donovan mentioned this yesterday. He said, when we were talking to him, he said, reading the book on the sidelines. Mm-hmm. You all had a fun time with that. Ha, 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 ha. We laughed. He said, I've never seen anything like that.
No one has.
No, and if they hadn't won that game, right? And the number of times that we just sort of, and it's funny because I think we all understand how A.J. Brown feels. Mm-hmm. I think we all agree he should get the ball more.
Without question.
But then we also all agree that the tweets after the game, even if it's how he feels, is not the best thing for the team to win. Yeah. And I think ultimately the team, you said AJ is going to have to decide, and he does. But ultimately the team's going to have to decide. They're going to have to decide, is the juice worth the squeeze at this point? And he's a great player. I know he's a great player, and I want him on the Eagles. But it just gets to a point, and I think you can look throughout the history of the NFL. There's not a ton of teams that are successful that have as many weapons as the Eagles have for several years. It can happen here and there, but ultimately there's a big dog and then there's everybody else. So there's two big dogs. It might be a situation on the Eagles where there might be too many mouths to feed, especially with the way they play offense. Mm-hmm. You mentioned Joe Burrow. It's fair to mention that team also was 9-8 and didn't make the playoffs and was playing from behind all the time. Yeah. And it's probably why both wide receivers were able to get as many receptions as they were happy with. Yeah. And I can think too about, we all know A.J. Brown's good, but A.J. Brown is thinking about his next contract too on some level. And I can tell you, we can all talk about how good he is, and the Eagles can talk about how good he is.
Not to cut you off. Yeah. Honestly, I think he's thinking about his
legacy.
His legacy as a player.
All of those things.
Because he's rich already.
Right.
And I'm not counting anybody's pockets, but once you have achieved that financial status, now you want to be where the greats are.
And when the lists come out, you want to be at the top of the list and all those things. And I can tell you what, he's not making the Hall of Fame getting 62 catches for 823 yards. I don't care how many Super Bowls they win. Because the person, the player on the team who will get that credit will be Jalen. The quarterback gets that credit, no matter how many times he throws or doesn't throw, but the wide receivers won't. Right. And we get it. I think we all get it, why AJ feels the way he feels, but we also are all at the point where, and I would have to imagine as an organization, they're going to have to do that calculus and say to themselves, can we do this every week? Can we do this every week where we win and the big story is that one of the players isn't happy enough?
Well, the thing is, to them, they're trying to get him the ball.
Yeah.
They're trying to. He got 9 targets Sunday. Like, I'm not saying they were great targets. I'm not saying they were great throws. I'm just saying they schematically tried to get him the football.
Sure.
That's different than what I saw in the Rams game where he didn't get a damn target. And then what was the game before that? One of the games he didn't get a target to the fourth quarter or something.
The first game. Wasn't
the
the
first
Cowboys
game of the
game.
season? Okay,
yeah.
Like, it's different than that scenario. I just, to me, it really boils down to AJ, in my opinion. Meaning that I believe the Eagles obviously want AJ here. They want him to be happy.
Yes.
But if he's not happy, that's a him thing. It's not a them thing.
Well, it's a him thing that becomes a them thing.
Of course it does, yes.
You know what I mean?
If he makes it that by constantly being unhappy, tweeting, things of that nature, then, of course, they're going to have to deal with it because I said it yesterday. I don't think it's fair to Jalen either that people are speculating that it's him.
Right. Well, and he has to go.
He has the issue with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are speculating what the issue is.
Right.
And now it puts your quarterback in a position where he hasn't said anything. He hasn't done anything. He's out there trying to win football games.
Well, then he's got to walk on eggshells around the.
It's unfair to him.
Yes. It's unfair. I think it's unfair to everybody.
It's unfair to the coaches. I heard Nick this morning. I thought he handled the questions as best he could. I thought Joe did a great job asking the questions, following up. But look at the position they're in.
Yeah.
Talking about this.
4-0.
Yeah.
4-0.